Next on This Is Home, we'll take a look at how to protect your plants as the temperatures start dropping, spice up your backsplash with trending tile, and tips on how to make your home a safer place for your family. So settle in as we bring you This Is Home. Fall is here. It's time to think about getting your home ready for cooler temperatures, thinking about the holidays, and preparing to host guests. We're going to make this transition to fall easy with tips and tricks from the experts. I'm Taylor Lee, and welcome to This Is Home. Up first, does your kitchen need a little pick-me-up before the holidays? An easy way to give your kitchen a facelift is changing out tile. Let's hear from the experts what's trending in the kitchen. Well, we're seeing the trend of pattern on the floor finding its way up the wall, which is why you guys help us make that happen.
Sure. So just like you said, patterned tile is becoming a very, very popular thing. And a place to do that is on walls, not just the entirety of the wall, but accents on walls, whether that's your backsplash or that's your master shower or even tub surrounds in guest bathrooms. Gray, we talked last time, gray's a thing, grayish and gray and all that good stuff. But you'll notice in this tile, there's a little bit of a crackle in there that just gives it a little bit of, it's false texture, but it's texture nonetheless. It just looks.
And on the backsplash, behind your sink in your kitchen, that's going to be beautiful.
Sure, and you have the look of texture, but you shouldn't actually have texture on your backsplash because you have to wipe it down. Mm-hmm. So, spaghetti splatters up there or whatever happens. Our kitchens get dirty periodically. You have to be able to wipe those down. And then I got a white subway tile. This is a 4x16 white subway tile. White subway tile is never out. It's a kind of a timeless classic look. One thing you see a lot of, especially on the fixer-upper, Chip and Joanna, man, that's a thing for them. There is subway tile on everything they do. A big thing that you can do with these guys is you can change your grout colors. This is just one grout chart from one specific grout vendor. The grout goes all the way from the whitest white, which is Avalanche, all the way down to grout color number 10, which is black. You want to get into some colors, you want to get into some colorful stuff, we've got that option too. I mean, sure, the purple, with the seashells and those sort of things, it's not for everybody, but it's there. And if you want to add a touch of your personal preference or your personal style or, what you dig, that's certainly always an option. Let's say you have a man cave that has a bar in it. Maybe it's a Texas Tech man cave or a Dallas Cowboys man cave. Theme-wise, you could put this on the face of the bar or on the backsplash in that man cave. You live in your home. Mm-hmm. You don't show your home. We go through these parade houses and they're beautiful and they're great and they have all this, but what we have to understand all the time is that we're making sure houses are functional for everyday living because we don't show our house every day, we live in our house every day. Mm-hmm. So it's got everything. No matter how beautiful or how neat it looks or how much you love it, it's got to be functional. And so that's something that we really focus on is having functional yet unique options to look at.
Sometimes I think we can all get caught up in, but I want it to look this way.
Sure.
And I as a consumer, so appreciate that you're saying, let's remember functionality,
sure.
Taylor.
Sure, no doubt. And that's the beauty of tile is it's super duper durable. Tile is a very, very durable material. It's tough, it's waterproof, it's scratch resistant. It's a very durable, tough option. You may love the way something that's super funky looks today in terms of colors or patterns, but oftentimes it's safer and smarter to go with something that's more timeless. Do something that makes it unique to you, but at the same time, do something that you're not going to get tired of in 6 months or a year.
Right. Now, are allergies getting the best of you? We're taking a look into the air in your home and what steps you can take to keep your home allergen-free. Joel, I think for a lot of people, the system of air ducts, the whole idea of our air quality, it's sort of out of sight, out of mind. Why is it important for homeowners to keep this at the forefront of our minds?
Well, you're exactly right. It's out of sight, out of mind. When your carpet's dirty, your tile floor's dirty, you see it, you clean it. If people looked inside their ductworks, they would see that they need to be clean. Well, your filter is the lungs of the home or business. So if you keep that filter clean, it's going to make the air better throughout the building or the home. And so normal air ducts should be cleaned about every 5 years. Clean air ducts is going to help the efficiency of the unit. The filter being clean is huge. If that filter gets dirty, it's making the motor work a lot harder. And so it should help on your electricity bill.
We're standing at the bottom of a pretty standard West Texas attic. So a lot of our homes will have the air duct system up there. That's how we would access it.
This is kind of a typical standard how they're doing them today in homes in the West Texas area.
Okay, well let's go take a look.
So what we have here is your return ductwork coming in here. This is your filter, which is the most important aspect of the unit, that you're going to keep the filter clean.
There's the lungs of our house, you said.
That's correct. You want to make sure the arrow is going properly to the motor.
So when you have to go about the process of cleaning it, walk me through that.
Well, we take these covers off, we take the filter out, and in this return, we may cut an access panel so we can hand vacuum this return system out. And then we pull the blower motor out, we clean all this here, come in here, clean this out, take the cover off, vacuum the coils out as best as possible, and then we run our vacuum through the supply lines. One of the first things we do is we take down all the supply and return grills like he's doing now.
Okay.
He'll take a razor knife, he's going to cut around the paint seal. A lot of ceilings have painted the grills onto the ceiling. So you take all the grills down, you have somebody washing all the grills, and then we hook up a large vacuum, which is a negative air machine, and then we want to push all the dust and dirt in your entire HVAC system back out to our vacuum, which is outside.
Now let me ask you, when's the last time you had your air ducts cleaned?
About 5 years ago.
Really?
Really? I get a pretty good price on it.
Yeah, I imagine so. You know some guys.
I know some people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Most families agree our garages are pretty much busting at the seams. Up next, we'll help you find a solution to your storage needs. Caleb, it's noisy in here. These guys, they're working hard.
They are. What they're doing is basically building the components for a future backyard storage. And so right here we have going on, we have the floor going on. We've already got our walls and everything already pre-made over there. And as soon as we finish up this floor, we'll be constructing one of our buildings for one of our customers.
And these are all custom-made products. This is what sets it apart. It's not your backyard shed. Caleb, I see this building and I think this is what most people have in their backyard.
That is correct. Most of our customers, they just use this for generic storage, whether it be their lawn equipment, Christmas decorations, Halloweens. We got them all in here.
Right, this is what everybody has somewhere, so you might as well put it in the backyard.
Yes, and just because it's just a standard building doesn't mean it's not built to last.
As we move over here, we see another example of, what would you call this? The man cave?
This is basically a man cave workshop.
Okay. You see the dartboard in the back, the
workbench, toolbox, everything.
Clearly, I spent a lot of time in man caves.
Right, exactly. Got the cooler in the back, and I said, so it can be a whole lot more than just storage. Like some of our customers, they use it kind of as a little workshop, a little home away from the home for the guy.
Right. And so if we have a man cave, we have to have a she cave, right?
Yes, it's a she shed, or what some people might call it. But this is our display of our she shed, and it's set up. It's nice in here with the frameless windows that open and close, the natural light coming through.
So I can see this as being a craft space for mom,
Right.
or even, I mean, a desk, a study area for a kid that's still at home.
Right.
Caleb, you guys have designed my building. I'm ready to go. This is just about 2 weeks later from a customer saying that they get that whole thing in motion.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. So what we've done is we've taken your order, we've assembled it in-house in our warehouse over here in Lubbock,
Right.
and now it's time to deliver your building. All right, Jordan, let's get this one delivered. He's a pro when it comes to this job right here. And for whatever reason, if we can't deliver the building with a crane due to highline wires or tree limbs, we can always do a build on site for our customers. All of our units are designed to be set on the ground. You're going to have a 3/4 inch plywood wood floor, and even that's going to sit up off the ground about 4 inches. So it'll protect that wood. And so basically this is our standard door that comes with all of our units, just a 6x6 top of the line Janus roll-up door.
And there it is.
Yep.
From the warehouse to my backyard in just a matter of 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Delivery is no problem.
That's awesome. Okay, how often do you check your water heater? Is it showing signs of wear and tear? And what new technologies are out there with water heater safety? Let's find out. Charlie, we're standing in the garage, and there's one thing that if it gets messed up in our home, we're really upset about it.
Yes, and that's your hot water heater.
Hot water heater. Now, they're not always located in garages.
No, they'll be located in the center of the house, garage, even some in the attic.
Okay, and we talked a little bit about some of the regulations, some of the requirements, changes, if it is in the garage, if it's not. As we look at this, walk me through that.
The ones that are in the house don't have to be raised up off the floor. In the garage, they need to be at least 18 inches up.
How often, because we are in Lubbock, would you suggest changing that hot water heater? Totally resetting the sediment, basically.
I would, if it's getting real bad, usually in about 5 to 6 years.
Some people do it themselves.
Correct.
What are some of the concerns with that?
The big thing is even the homeowner is supposed to get a permit and get it inspected. State law states that, replacing a water heater needs to be inspected. The big downsides is sometimes homeowners don't know the new codes. There's a lot of cross connection that could happen. That's one reason why we always get everything permitted and inspected, because you don't want to have an issue with cross connection. First thing that we do is we shut the water off. If it's a gas water heater like this one is, the vent, we look to see if it's got a 1-inch clearance at where it goes to the ceiling. And then we also get up in the attic and we look at where it goes to the roof. Make sure there's a 1-inch clearance going through the roof so that there's not any place that it could be touching against a combustible material that it could catch on fire.
Because that gets really hot.
It gets very hot. We check to see if if the TMP has a line going down to the pan, either to a pan or to a drain. If it goes down and goes to the pan, it's got to have 1.5 inch gap from the pan to the bottom of the pipe. And then we look at the gas flex. We always replace the gas flex on a water heater. Gas flexes are not to be reused. Some of the other code things that we have to look for to see if it's got what they call a dirty leg or a drip leg. Well, if you have this, what it does is it travels in, the dirt and trash will fall down in here and won't get into your gas valve and mess your gas valve up.
Okay.
So that's another code upgrade that's got to be done. If it doesn't have a drip leg, it's got to have a drip leg installed. We always look at the pan. If the pan's leaking when you come to look at it, pan's got to be replaced. You can put a water alarm in there, and if it gets water in there, the alarm will go off to tell you that something's wrong. Especially middle of the house, to where there's not a drain around. You can put a pan, put an alarm in there, and it gets any type of water in there, it's going to go off and tell you, you need to look at this. Somebody can get hurt really easily if they're not paying attention.
And then they're always squeezed in here in an awkward space. You don't want to mess the air conditioning unit up. Just call a professional.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend. It's going to save you in the long run.
Coming up after the break, let's step inside and see the latest in custom-built homes. Get more This Is Home online at kcbd.com. Take an in-depth look at all the latest home improvement news in one convenient location, plus watch full episodes of past shows on demand. Just go to kcbd.com and click on the This Is Home tab. Kevin Ninemeyer with Milestone Homes. It's all about custom homes in your world. That's really your bread and butter. So you're about catering to what a family wants in their house. Talk me through how you get to know that family. How do you figure out what it is that they really need? What do you see?
Whenever I start to deal with a new couple, a new customer, I ask them to give me a list, a his and her list. I want to know the things that are important to him and the things that are important to her.
And this house we're standing at over in South Lubbock, not completed yet. You've still got a couple more weeks of finishing touches.
We got a few more weeks to finish on it.
But it's awesome. So let's go inside and check out how that his and hers list worked out for this family.
Please.
So open concept for sure. That's the first thing you notice when you walk in.
That seems to be, everybody wants to open concept. The gray colors are still in style. You know, large windows, entertaining space on the patio is always a huge feature. This particular kitchen in general has has been a great selling feature for us.
What else in this home, what could we show that really just shows those customization techniques? Maybe those things that when I'm looking to build a home or even purchase a home, I don't think to put that in my house, but you've thought it
There's
through.
little things, like puck lights up and glass door cabinets. We've got, they opted to go for a whole wine rack, wine fridge thing over here in the corner, swimming pool in the back, and then we've got a big shop. We can do absolutely anything that you want to do, whatever your imagination is, and your budget. So most of my kitchens, as a standard feature, we don't do doors. We do all drawers, making everything easily accessible versus having to crawl around and find something on that bottom shelf.
I love all the gray we're seeing here, but you have another kitchen.
I've got another kitchen. Let's go take a look.
This beautiful kitchen, very different than what we just saw.
Yes, this whole house has more of a warm, welcoming feel to it. Versus it's still light and bright, but it's not the painted kitchen. We went with more stained cabinets and just a different feel.
Walking through the master bedroom, of course, the closet king has made a closet just about everybody could love.
Self-imposed that. If we're able to get 10-foot ceilings, we can go with a third rod. I really hate wasted space, so in here you just have, by the time your clothes are up, you just have enough walking room to get to your chest of drawers. You've got a place to sit down.
Put your shoes on.
We take the shelves all the way to the ceiling, so we're not wasting that space. Sure, you might have to get a ladder, but those shoes that you only wear once or whatever can go up there.
Exactly. Switch them out seasonally. All things that people just love, those finishing touches, those special things that really make it my home.
And maximizing your space, absolutely.
As fall temperatures continue to drop, it's time to think about winterizing your yard. We're learning about the best ways to prep our plants for the cold. As the fall season is quickly approaching, we of course need to start thinking about the landscaping in our yard. Everything changes. Fall hits, the weather changes. We're here with Tyler and Tom's Tree Place. Tell us what we need to be thinking about as these colder months, cooler months are approaching.
Well, we need to start to begin fertilizing. Fertilizing in the fall is just as important, if not more important, than it is in the springtime.
You said something earlier, fall cleanup. Maybe just run through a little checklist.
Okay.
Maybe we start with fertilizer and then what?
Yeah, so you're going to look at your plants that go dormant. So maybe it's a decorative grass or it's some kind of a shrub that goes dormant. You want to be able to, cut the excess off. So like here we've got some feather grass.
Okay.
Right here, what we do in the wintertime is we just give it a flat top haircut.
Okay.
Because this will go dormant over the winter, and so you want to cut that off and let the new growth in the spring have room to grow up.
Okay.
So and then when you have, in the fall, you're going to have leaves falling off of your trees, or your shrubs. You want to rake all that out so that it prevents fungus to grow over the winter. The other aspect, I guess, to it is getting your trees trimmed.
Okay.
In the wintertime, that's the best time to really trim trees up because they're going to be the least stressed.
Tyler, there's this idea that, hey, everything's dead in the wintertime. I'm going to save on my water bill. I'm not going to water the lawn. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, really, everything's just in hibernation mode. Again, like we talked about earlier, you want to keep watering throughout the winter, maybe not as much because it's not as hot, obviously. You're not going to get as much evaporation, but everything needs to keep moist and watered throughout the day. If it's going to freeze overnight, water in the warmer hours of the day. But if you don't water over the winter, and we have a winter like we just did, where we had zero rain, then you're going to, come springtime, you're not going to have anything left to water.
So those pesky weeds, they don't just go away in the wintertime like we want.
No.
So fall is a time period we should start thinking about post-emergent.
Right. Yeah, we want to be able to, first of all, see what kind of weed we have, if it's a grassy weed or a broadleaf weed, and pick the chemical accordingly.
So Tyler, grass types, weed types, herbicides, emergent, all of this can get pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, it can, but there's tons of people here in Lubbock that know a lot about the stuff we just talked about. But there's even stuff on the internet that we look up. We use that too. So
I get a pass to go to Google.
yes, you do. Yeah.
Because even you do.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Tyler.
No problem.
It may be time to replace your roof, but if you're not sure what material is best for your home or what your options even are, that task can be daunting. Let's hear from an expert. Mike, roofers around the South Plains have had a great, busy, crazy year. We're here mid-September. What's it like right now for all you?
There's going to be a little rush now that school's gotten started. There's going to be a little rush of people going, oh, honey, we need to get the roof done.
What are people in Lubbock and the surrounding counties, what are we wanting? What are we calling you guys up saying, hey, I think I want my roof to have this on top?
Okay, a lot of composition shingles, so limited lifetime, which are architectural shingles. Those are on 90% of the roofs. Then you have your metals from your Decra, which is a brand name, but a stone-coated steel, to your R panel, U panel, standing seam metal. So, you know, there's usually shingles, metal, or concrete or clay tile. Then there's slate that's starting to get into the high end, very limited clientele type shingle or roof. So pretty much composition and stone-coated steel are your two main residential type shingles.
Okay, now we're on a pretty neat street here. Let's hop in the car and take a look at some of the jobs you guys have done.
Let's go.
And what are the benefits to a metal roof as opposed to a more traditional roof?
Well, you know, metal is going to withstand, you know, more, it's going to be more resistant to the hail. This one here, this is a Presidential Shake shingle. This is a true, again, the manufacturer is Decra, but it is stone-coated steel. Very, very beautiful high-end roof. That roof right there has not been replaced. Yeah, it's hammered.
Mike, being a West Texas homeowner, how often should I expect to get my roof replaced?
Well, statistics show that in West Texas, inclement weather is going to affect your roof on average between 7 to 10 years. A lot of times when they're building a house, you know, people are building a house, the roof is somewhat of an afterthought. And so a lot of times we see that the budget, you know, by the end of the project, they're like, oh, let's just get a roof on there, you know, we'll replace it whenever a storm comes through. It really depends on what type of house you have, what are you looking for, and what do you have up there currently? Because if you carry insurance, you know, that's why we pay our insurance premiums, so that in the event of a catastrophic event, that insurance will pay for the replacement of your roof and other things on your property to get it back to pre-storm state. So that's the time when a lot of times people make their changes.
Is investing in real estate right for you? And when's the right time to buy? Is there a better buying season? Let's dive deeper into West Texas real estate. What's the market like right now? What's Lubbock market?
The market is great. We're kind of winding up the selling season. We typically have 6 months on, 6 months that are still on, but not our really top end months. March through August are our prime months for residential real estate sales in Lubbock.
So tell me about this house we're looking at.
Okay, this house is a 432. It's a former parade home from 1998. We have plantation shutters. This one has unusually large arched windows that go all the way to the floor. And I think as we enter inside, you're going to see that the current homeowner has done quite an extensive remodel in the kitchen. And we're located at 10304 York today.
Okay, so in a home like this, an existing home, as opposed to new construction, what are the different trends you're seeing?
In new construction, you're probably not going to have as much of the ornamental molding that are around. They're faced more with new construction costs of ample living space, smaller bedrooms. This home is kind of designed with more of grandeur for formal living and formal dining. And as we come through in here, You can see this is the great room. This is probably where the family stayed most of the time. But we've also got stained cabinetry in the kitchen. You know, they've put a semi-modern light fixture in here with the faux candles. We've got gas cooking in this one, and if we can pan in over here, you can see they've got insets.
I love this
with the
floor.
textures. We've got a super wine refrigerator. We have double ovens, microwave, warming tray over here.
So it really, you all find the right home for the person's lifestyle, for
Exactly.
the cooking mom or the on-the-go working mom and the working dad.
You know, when we first get together, it's not about selling a house, it's about fulfilling a dream. And we consider ourselves at Exit Realty not so much salespeople as we are personal counselors.
Russell, one of the things that makes Lubbock stand out among some of the other larger cities here in Texas is how reliable the real estate is. Talk to me about that. Are people investing in it? When's a good time to do that?
Sure. Well, Lubbock really is an outstanding market, especially for investment because of the stability. Here, when you look at cities all across the nation, you see lots of ups and downs. There's some booms and busts. Even if you just go a few hours away to the oil areas, Midland, Odessa, you really see big swings. Either way, Lubbock's very slow, steady, dependable growth, and especially in the price ranges that make good investment properties, we're seeing really good appreciation but steady appreciation. So it makes it a great place to own property where you're going to continue to see those values go up.
Good home security does not have to cost an arm and a leg. Now we're talking tips on how to make your home safer without breaking the bank. David, you're with Texas Homeland Security and Sound. You have done a lot of making people safe here on the South Plains. Tell us, what are some of the biggest questions people have?
Well, most people call, they don't have anything. And a lot of people call right after they get broke into or their neighbor gets broke into. So if we're starting,
that just breaks your heart, I'm
I know,
sure.
Yeah. If we're starting from scratch, I always start with an alarm system, because the cameras will tell you who came in, but not when.
So for someone who's brand new to the idea of putting security cameras around your house, what are the most important access points we should have those cameras exposing?
Right. Most people start with your front door, your back door, and your garage door / driveway, because a lot of people don't park their car in the garage.
And of those three entry points, what would you say is the most common for
Back door.
unexpected guests?
Definitely the back door.
So go through some of those deterrents with me. The sign in the yard.
Right. It's huge. Cameras, if,
Just like
most
we
of the time
see.
people that are actually looking to see if they can get in your house or they're thinking about it, casing, they'll look for cameras. And then, of course, at night, you got to have your lights. Have your lights on. And I recommend the lights that come on, dusted on. They come on with a sensor, not a motion sensor. That way they're on all night and it's a deterrent.
Those small deterrents make a big difference.
Huge.
And then one of the bigger deterrents would be even having a security system, cameras inside of your home.
Correct. Only about 1 in 20 people have that, just because people have a privacy issue.
Okay.
But it does happen.
So once we walk inside, if I wanted to put security cameras inside, what would you suggest?
Most of the time we go for a common area. Like, perfect example in this house would be one right here, up above, so you could see the living room and kitchen. It's the whole common area for this house.
So that camera footage that you're always getting is accessible through an app on your phone as well
Right.
as monitors
Right.
throughout the house.
I haven't hooked mine to my TV yet.
So here's the
Haven't gone that
security
far,
layer. So maybe if a family, was really concerned about security 10 years ago, they priced it out and realized they couldn't afford it, you would encourage them, hey, check again. It's a lot more affordable now.
Sure is.
It's more ubiquitous. We're trying to protect the community.
Exactly, trying to make it fair. Not just rich people don't have cameras, because back in the day, usually only people that were wealthy had camera systems.
Yeah,
And now everybody has them.
everybody can have them. It's just an app on your phone.
Yeah.
It's so easy. That's it for this edition of This Is Home. Thanks for watching. Remember, you can go to kcbd.com/thisishome to watch previous episodes and extended cuts from all of our experts. We'll see you next time right here on the South Plains because this is home.